extend my warm welcome to the speaker and other guests and all the attendees. Let us begin. Let us begin and have a quick round of introductions. So, we would like you to start with your name and where are you from, etc. So, if you would.
Hi everyone, my name is Vijay. I'm from Gramina Incubation Center. I'm working as a mentor with them. And I'm from Visakhapatnam.
Yeah, good evening. I am Professor Sushil from IIM Visakhapatnam, and it was a year back. I, Ravi S. Parupu, and the entire team when we all started this Startup Saturday long back, and I am very happy to see more and more crowd coming up. Good. So my campus is just in this only, but we are shifted to a main campus in Gambhiram.
Hi everyone, I'm Sridevi. I just joined 4 months ago Geetam. I head the venture development centers of Geetam in Vizag, Bangalore, and Hyderabad, all the three captives. Um, it's nice to see Vizag innovation ecosystem flourishing like this. Though this is an humble initiative, Startup Saturdays, I'm looking forward to this becoming a gigantic one and hope to see a lot of startups from our state coming up and flourishing.
Very good evening, everyone. I'm Pooja Vidyashankar. I'm from NASCOM Center of Excellence, Visakhapatnam. I head the center. Across India, we have 4 centers. It's an mighty initiative, Bangalore, Delhi, Gurgaon. And I head the Vizag Center. And I lead Industry Connect as well as the Government Connects also for the startup. Apart from the Andhra industries, I look after the Hyderabad and Chennai industries. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Dilip. So I am the founder of startup Ride Drone Private Limited. So we are into drone manufacturing and the services like agriculture spraying and the mapping of the survey areas. Apart from that, we are developing an app. Apart from that, we are developing an app for farmers to request the drones for spraying services. So yeah, that's the introduction. And he is my friend. So we both are here for that.
Yeah. So we both are classmates, and I help with the technology aspect, and I work with him on this pilot for the startup which he's working on, and we look forward to learn more and to implement more of our ideas, which would help the farmers in one way or the other in their agriculture. Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity.
Hello, everyone. Good evening to the distinguished guests and founders, co-founders, and everyone present over here. My name is Raj Patel. I am an interior designer, uh, coming from an interior designing background, and I am trying to solve a challenge in the interior designing industry, that is lack of transparency or communication or quality interiors across the country. So my idea over here as a founder of a startup company is to ensure we connect, become a marketplace to connect uh, the homeowners, the service providers, the interior designers, architects, and the vendors who are suppliers of the material by using artificial intelligence, augmented reality, virtual reality, and machine learning. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, my name is Soumya. I'm here with one of the panel members here to listen and also you know everyone who has some input on that. Thank you.
Hi everyone, this is Satya from an organization NGO called Laya from Visakhapatnam.
Very good evening, everyone.
I'm Jagan, founder of Vizag startup, that is e-commerce platform Rithos. Rithos is a platform made for the local vendors, and we are providing logistic support. So we are looking for connects and you know technically developed people who can assist us. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Srinath, and I am working as a product development in Tritos. We are developing the product for the who are local vendors and local assistants. The platform provides the grocery, food, and local store services and need, and as well as we are providing the logistics support also. Who need that? Hi, good evening, sir. My name is I am Kiran Naik. I am studying Andhra University BTech third year, computer science engineering.
I am Balu Naik. I'm studying on the first year Andhra University.
I am Kuluprasad, founder of Ask Citizen Gramin Store.
Hi, I am Satish, working towards a DevOps engineer.
Hello everyone, my name is Alexia and I used to be an intern at AHA.
Hi, this is Anastia. I'm working in
Good evening, I am Achyut Adepalli, final year electrical engineering from Andhra University. I am here to express my idea in the EV industry.
I myself Nikhil. I'm just here to hear about listen to all the dignitaries and get exposure about different startups.
Good evening. My name is Tarun. I'm a student at Andhra.
Good evening. My name is Jayapratap. I'm working on a startup called AYI, which focuses on neurodivergent individuals. The concept is that it focuses on those individuals who have neurotypical mindsets. Other than the regular mindsets, they are basically have learning disabilities like dyslexia, autism. I work for them, and presently my startup is in the process of getting incubated at IIM Vizag, which Sushil sir is very much a very critical part of. And I'm also working for a organization called the India SME Forum, which works with MSMEs and other large scale industries. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Isaac. Currently I'm a third year electrical engineering student. I'm here to gain knowledge from you guys and build my own startup in the future. Myself, Santis, same department, electrical engineer. She invited me basically to this event. I also planning for my own startup in upcoming days. Presently, I want to learn some new experience from these experienced candidates and attend more events like this. Present.
No, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Pranay. I'm from Geetam University.
Doing what?
Studying.
What?
Yes.
First year?
Hello everyone, I'm Usha Gajpatraju from Avni Organics. Ours is a startup by women entrepreneurs working basically for women farmers and to support 100 national farmers here in Vishakhapatnam.
Just your name and what you're studying.
Hello, I'm Mother Strisha myself. I'm studying in AU BBA first year.
Hello, I'm Sri Karuna and I'm a storyteller. This happiness and mindfulness coach.
Good evening, everyone. Here is we are ideating a startup.
What did you do?
We are into uh, making automatic kitchen robots. Fully automatic.
Hi everyone, Alok here from local startup community known as Vizag Startups. I also invest into domain names. Thank you.
My name is Avinash. I recently completed my post-graduation in Vizag recently, and I'm presently working in 3D concrete printing technologies is present in the ideation stage, market developer. got some 2.5 lakh finance from National Housing Bank. I think within 4 to 5 months, I'll show a prototype of it. Is my colleague Lalit.
We both are working in same, and I am Lalit Patura. I am mechanical engineer.
Namaste to everyone. My name is Lavanya. I'm final year undergrad from BC department.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Yashwant. I'm from EB Solutions Vizag. It is a small organization. We are into manufacturing of electrical panels for fixed.
Hello everyone. My name is Ragamalika. I'm from BBA second year from the University.
Good evening, guys. This is Rajesh, and I'm currently pursuing CSC third year in Andhra University, and I'm here to witness these wonderful sessions and to learn something new from these guys. Thank you.
Good evening to all the dignitaries who are present here. I'm Nathan Lincoln, who is studying third year in the computer science engineering. I look forward to all who gain experience. Thank you.
Good evening. Myself Pranav. I am third year in Andhra University CSE student. I am here to get some experience and some exposure in startup. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Myself Durga Prasad. I'm a developer. I'm currently working on a startup idea related to digital marketing. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Praharsha.
Good evening, everybody. It's Praharsha, and I just now completed internship.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Apeksha. I'm from Hyderabad. I joined first year BBA in Gita.
Hi, I'm Sankas. I'm also from Geetham. I'm doing my PPA.
Hi, I'm Kushal. I'm Geetham too. I'm from BTech third year.
Hi everyone. I'm Trivarna. I'm also from Geetham, BTech third year.
Hi, good evening. This is Naushad. I'm pursuing my BTech third year from Geetham.
Hi, this is Kirtika. I'm from BTech third year in.
Hi everyone, this is Yogesh here. I'm working for an Indian MNC. To just witness and that's for me.
Hello everyone, my name is Uday. I'm getting Alam.
Hi, this is Bharguri from
Wait, we forgot the chief guest.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Danesh. I'm currently working as an operation executive at AHA, and I've been running this firm since last 1 year.
I can see. I can see that there are newcomers. So my name is Rishi. I am an intern at AHAB, and it's a pleasure to have you all to this startup Saturday gathering. And I will take you through this event's proceedings. Firstly, I would like to read some ground rules for an effective meeting. Please put your phones in silent mode. Avoid stepping in and out during a session. Please wait until the speaker finishes his or her session. Avoid bringing refreshments inside the auditorium. Avoid crosstalk during meeting. And audience members are requested to wait for the Q&A session to ask their questions. Now to the meeting. The main goal of Startup Saturday is to motivate, inspire, and assist founders of new startups and provide them with helpful advice. Investment support from investors is always welcome. We will begin our panel discussion right now. I welcome our moderator, Mr. Savram Srinivas, onto the dance.
I'll call all the panelists on to the dais and then we get started. If he doesn't come, he doesn't come. We don't wait for anyone. It's his rule, by the way. So don't worry. I am coming from where he is, where he was, and we were supposed to start. These are the Google developers, IO extended. So since you asked, you're the first one I'm going to call on. Dr. Sushil Kumar, please come over. He's currently working as assistant professor in the area of entrepreneurship at IIM Visakhapatnam. He holds an FPM in business policy and strategy from IIM Raipur and MPhil in planning and development from IIT Bombay, and MA in social entrepreneurship from School of Management and Labor Studies, Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai. He has more than 5 years of work experience in the industry and academia. He was associated in the role of faculty with the University of Pejawali, Canada, Chandigarh campus, India, Rajagiri Business School, Kochi, Kerala. Lots of things that more that I can add, but I'm going to keep it short. I just would like to add one more line. He has mentored startups across agriculture, food processing, service, digital, and health sectors. Welcome. Vijay, since yours is the shortest, I'm going to call you next. Please come over. Vijay PVSS is a mentor and second in command at Gramina Incubation Center. He has 15 years of experience as an entrepreneur. After numerous starts, stops, failures, and disasters, Vijay is now heading a 5 crore turnover business, which was set up and established by him 8 years ago with only 50,000 rupees as capital. However, since his heart is in social enterprise, he is working with Gramina Incubation Center to guide and nurture businesses to learn from the mistakes that they make. So, next, it's wonderful to see a lot of people from Geetam. We do expect a few hands coming from Geetam, but now we've got more. Thanks to Sridevi Devreddy, who is a thought leader in innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem of India. She's a Chevening Research and Innovation Fellow from Oxford University, alum of IIM, Kozhikode, Osmania, and Kakatiya University. She currently heads the Venture Development Center at Geetam. She is the founding CEO of SR Innovation Exchange, a technology business incubator under DST at Warangal. The next, okay, one small, she's won a lot of accolades regarding innovation and entrepreneurship. Two of them that I know are National Entrepreneurship Award in 2019 by the Government of India and Pride of Telangana in 2018. Welcome. Next, Pooja, I have you in the hand. Pooja Vidya Shankar is the head of strategy and execution at NASSCOM COE, IoT, and Deep Tech, right? She has experience in medium and large scale public and private organizations. She is a result driven achiever with an ability to work independently, multitask, work with cross functional teams, as an exceptional team player with good analytical skills.
I had the National Center of Excellence like that.
Okay. Okay, since the other person, Ahab, who's made sure that these meetings happen is not here yet. We're going to get started. So let me get started with my introduction. As in, by the way, I'm Srinivas Savaram. I help Ravi and Divakar and Ganesh and Vinay and Madhu and Alekhya before and Hemashri at AHUB. I'm also a part of TAI that I'm going to get a lot of guidance from Sridevi here. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed panelists, dear audience members, welcome to our panel discussion on promoting startups and innovators in AP. This is going to be with a particular focus on Vizag because that's where we are. As we delve into this crucial topic, our main objective is to provide valuable insights and guidance to aspiring entrepreneurs and young college students in the audience. Without further ado, let's begin a discussion with some thought-provoking questions. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to have an opening question to set a tone of a discussion. Let's start with each of you briefly explaining the primary goals and initiatives of your respective incubation centers or innovation hubs. How do you aim to support and promote startups and innovators?
So yeah, as I already told, NASSCOM Center of Excellence, it's an initiative by a central government to support the startup ecosystem across the country. So we incubate the startup who are into a prototype stage. Usually we don't take from the ideation or a concept stage, at least the startup who have a MVP. We incubate them for a period of 6 months, and like any other incubation center, we support the startup from the day zero, from mentoring to funding and getting them a grant. And the main focus of the Center of Excellence is to connect the startup with the relevant industries. So each center of excellence across India is in your one domain. For example, Bangalore, which focuses only on the enterprises connect. There we have a Qualcomm, Accenture, Dell. These are our partners where our startups work with their R&D team. It is called as co-creation, something which we follow, and we come up with an technological solution only related to these enterprises. And the second thing, Gurgaon is focusing on a healthcare sector. The startups who can work, who can provide some solution, technological solution, or digitize the healthcare sector, like hospitals and PHCs, UHCs, all this. Coming back to Vizag, we are focusing here on because this is an coastal area and we can see more port-related industries here. We are focusing more on a port and allied industries. So any startups who are working, who are relevant to these industries, we incubate them, we mentor them, and we also a kind of what I said co-creation. We help these startups to work along with the ports industries because see, each industry is unique. Their problem statement is unique. Their use cases are unique, right? The startup cannot come and say that see this is a generic one which can be applicable to everybody. But there is each industry they have their own requirements. So we help them to connect with these industries where the startup can work along with them. It's a kind of R&D kind of thing where the startup themselves will involve to try to understand what actually the requirements of the industry and in the digital transformation journey of digital transformation where they stand, what are the digital gaps they have. So our startups try to come up with a solution filling that gap. So having said that, not only we are focusing on the ports, we can also focus on any manufacturing or chemical industries. But Vizag main focus is on ports and allied industries. Thank you. Last.
Okay. Before you speak, here. So, our big man, the happening person in Visakhapatnam next to these four over here on stage, Ravi Ishwarapu. Ravi Ishwarapu is the CEO of AHUB, President of TAI Andhra Pradesh, past Global Head of Quality at Tech Mahindra, earlier Satyam. He was a shadow board member during the revival of Satyam and the merger with Tech Mahindra. 23 years of consulting and operational experience in setup of global delivery centers and a lot of other things. I'm not going to say anything more because he stopped me. The only thing I would like to add, just so that you have some idea of all the from an education perspective, BE Mechanical Engineering, MBA in Marketing from AU, ICWI, MS in Strategic Information Systems from IISc, and Executive MBA from Harvard. Welcome, Ravi.
Thank you. Sorry for being late. We are dressed. Sorry. Sorry for the. Sorry, Sushil. Sorry. No worries. Thank you.
So I will just speak about IIM Visakhapatnam Incubation Center, which is called IIM Feed. This for Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development. See, being IIM, since it's a central publicly funded institution, we have two roles. One role is that we have to support, nurture, fund, mentor the academic startups, the startups started by the students. So we have started for even the PGP students who are in the first year. When they go to the second year, we provide them mentoring and support system, as well as for the faculty who all are there, as well as the alumni. Second, we have started, you could see when you go to the website, you see a lot of programs we started, and the first cohort was Women Starter Program. So these Women Starter Program is actually the cohort selected by NSR Cell IIM Bangalore, but most of the women startups are based out of Andhra Pradesh. And we are running, we have just recently started the third cohort. Then we have also programs for technology, that is TIE 2.0. Then we have Nidhi Accelerator. And recently we started a program for social impact or social entrepreneur. So I was actually heading that entire program and still continuing. And we are going to start again for MSME in few coming months. See, why we are discussing about Wiser? When we all meet, we see a lot of vibrancy in the ecosystem. We have a lot of many institutions, academic institutions, support system, private university, public university, state university. A lot of you, even in the class 12 students are also more enterprising people. They are thinking in that line. We as an Indian, we most of the time depend that the government will solve our problems. But government is not responsible to solve all the problems. This is we all have to solve. That is why we become entrepreneurial in our minds. And that's more important because some of you are in engineering management, some of you have started from a different journey. You could see that starting an entrepreneurship has no age and no barrier. You can become richer when it is successful, you can become poorer when it fails. But yes, the intention has to be humble. That intentions are there that I will be wealthy, I can do this, I can work for myself, and I can actually also make or give employment to many people. But at the same time, the intention has to be very clear. The second, when we go, and we get a point that when we talk about the ecosystem, why ecosystem is required? I could really thank Ravi sir, because when we all started actually talking about that Startup Saturday as a concept, it was not existing. But gradually how it has fructified and crowd is coming is the hard work all going on. But at the same time, you could see the people interest. You could see the students coming to at least learn what is happening. Let us go listen to the people, successful or failure, but let's go and listen what is happening. It's not that we are talking about something of irrelevant, but when we are going to be an entrepreneur, even you can learn from either from the end or from the start. And in entrepreneurship, there is not that you need a process. That to start your idea should be very clear. You should have more money and then only you can do that. No. You have to think, because we as an entrepreneurial ecosystem, we start or train or mentor people who even have a rudimentary idea. Someone thinks that, hey, this is working as a maybe third year student in computer science engineering, think that something AI is coming, why can't I use these systems to solve? Works on a live project, works in a class project, gets mentored by the faculty and all, and they do it. So you could see a lot of things have been happening. I'll add more points.
Yeah, we'll give everybody a chance.
Yeah, right.
So please keep Madhu stand up. Huh?
Yes.
So please keep eye on her and raise your hand at 2 minutes.
Okay.
And you know that you need to know one person who necessarily everybody will know. Hello everyone. So I'm from Gramina Incubation Center. I'm working there as a mentor. Gramina Incubation Center was established in 2019. We have so many incubation centers. What is the need for another Gramina Incubation Center, and how are we different from other incubation centers? Gramina is one of India's only rural incubation center. We are completely based in a rural setup, and we are working towards rural entrepreneurship primarily. And our focus is mostly on marginalized communities, women, PWDs, and tribal areas. So our work, like apart from rural entrepreneurship, like we support micro and nano, which is most of the enterprise which is in rural areas. We also do reverse incubation. Reverse incubation is like we get startups which are working in rural solutions, which are working on rural solutions. We onboard them with us, and we try to see if they are able to solve the issues which are in our areas. So that is what Gramina incubation does. Apart from this, like the focus is mostly on like we handhold, do from ideation stage onwards. Like the challenge with rural setup is completely different from what we have in the urban setup actually. So with that focus, Gramina is working from past 3 years, and I think that speaks for itself. Thank you.
Okay. Is it okay? The question was.
What are the goals and initiatives of our house?
Yeah. Okay.
And what are you doing to help the community?
Okay. Vision was simple. It's basically providing local employment and contribute to the growth of the local GDP. That's the vision. And Mission 2025 is want to have
Sit on the floor over there.
create about 2 lakh square feet of incubation space, 200 startups, and more critically important, about 1,200 employees working on the campus at any point of time, leading to at least 60 million or 500 crores of business turnover happening from the campus. This was the mission. Now, the other part was, what's your?
How are you supporting it?
Okay, I call the 3 M's of an incubator or a startup. These are the 3 M's that are required. Anybody comes to us for these 3 M's. 1 is mentoring, 2 is money, 3 is market access. If you're able to do these 3, you're a successful incubator. If not, you're not. As simple as that. If so, mentoring, of course, a little bit this thing. We are in the reason we've also called ourselves as multidisciplinary, integrated incubation ecosystem. We got NASCOM onto the campus. We're getting STP onto the campus. These are tech stuff. But again, just a few days, 3 or 4 days back, CM has inaugurated the element which is a pharma incubation. We have marine incubation, pharma incubation. We're talking about genomics, food, biotech, all these stuff on the same campus. So the idea is also because what you have usually in an academic incubator, or especially in an academic incubator, is people don't talk to each other. Your great set of mentors was basically people from different walks of subject matter expertise. I have common professors, I have management professors, you're talking tech guys, I have professors in different branches of engineering, art, science, law, whatnot in this campus. Unfortunately, these people come with big egos. They don't talk to one another, even within the department, forget between departments. So I'm trying to create an environment where people talk. If there's a pharma incubation and they're doing drug discovery, API, they need an artificial intelligence. Who do they go to? Go to Pooja. The startups there who can help them reduce their drug discovery life cycles
using data analytics and AI. And there I have a defense-based startup, which is into underwater unmanned vehicles. What they need is to test their vehicles in seawater. Doing it in deep sea, taking maybe a boat and trying to do it for multiple number of days is a huge cost thing. Then I have the Marine Incubation Center, which is sponsored by Avanti Feeds, Avanti Foundation, which has water tanks where we pump in seawater and then it's there. So that's what exactly I'm talking of. This is a tech startup leveraging something in the marine startup leveraging something on the tech. So that's the multidisciplinary. So the 3 M's along with this integrated approach is what is going to say. Support is of course mentoring, market access and money. These are 3 things. You can answer. I think most of us have that. Is what we do.
Well, after listening to the stalwarts on this dais, I'm humbled. We at Geetham, this is a pre-incubation center, what we do. It's called Venture Development Center. We at Geetham believe that whether you become an entrepreneur or not, having the entrepreneurial mindset is the key. Whether you become an entrepreneur today or tomorrow or after 10 years, we believe in that key. And Geetham is the only university in the whole country where you have a 2-credit mandatory entrepreneurship course. So we are in a different zone. We are a pre-incubator versus a lot of incubators you're getting to hear. So innovators in the campus are supported by this pre-incubator, and we try to encourage whether you're a pharma student, you are a law student, you're a physiotherapy student, you are any engineering grad. What we want you to have is think like an entrepreneur, get the finer nuances of how to start a startup. That's it. Whether you start a startup or not, it's okay. You need not start up today. You can complete your education. You can go do your corporate job with a big fat salary. But one fine day when you actually want to start, you have the foundation ready already. So before you even think of starting, because you already had the foundation, you will weigh your options. You'll be more cautious. You'll show more caution. You'll take an informed decision. This is what we do at Geetham per se. Well, coming back to Vizag, this is more like Silicon Valley and Boston story. I know Hyderabad can't be compared to Silicon Valley, or Bangalore can be compared to Silicon Valley, or whatever we can think about. What I can see now in Vizag is brimming with potential. Vizag is brimming with confidence. We just need a small push. We just need to stay together and build an ecosystem for students, for innovators, for startups to thrive. That is where I'm coming from, and I think Startup Saturdays is an amazing initiative you guys have initiated. This is where we can share. This is where we can network. This is where we can validate our ideas. This is where we will be encouraged and we get the confidence that we are on the right path. So it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a whole ecosystem for a startup to survive.
Thank you. I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on to the next question. Nothing inspires aspiring entrepreneurs more than success stories from fellow innovators. Could you, anyone, all of you, of course, each of you can share a notable success story of a startup that emerged from your incubation center, highlight key factors that contributed to the success. One, just limit yourself to one, please, because I have lots of questions.
Yeah, we have around 10 success stories to talk about, but yeah, I'll stick to only one. Uh, it's a success story which one of the startup we connected to Department of Health, the Government of Andhra Pradesh. This startup is called as Save Mom. This founder is from Madurai, a small city in Chennai, and his device was a non-intrusive device to monitor the body vitals, right? So especially this is used for the pregnant women. You know that people in the tribal areas and the rural areas, the pregnant women, they don't easily go to any checkup, right? As often the urban pregnant lady will do. So the ANM and ASHA workers, they have to carry that bulk traditional devices to go and monitor and check these pregnant ladies. But the guy has come up with a device. It's just like an mobile size of a mobile. You have to just put it and 15 centimeters away from your forehead, and it will monitor all the body vitals. And this one, the vitals will be directly connected to eSanjeevani platform, which the government across India, the government of India, and any state will use. The doctor sitting from any part of the country, he can see those monitors in a real time. Then he can suggest if there is any variations. He can suggest the treatment to the pregnant ladies. So he ran on pilot for a period of 3 months. And he was incubated with us in a Bangalore center from 2016. But in 2021, he incubated with the Vizag center, and we gave him a chance to work along with the Department of Health. And across 3 or 4 PHCs in the Visakhapatnam district, he worked for a period of 3 months, and 3,000 pregnant ladies were monitored. Data was collected. His data was compared with a traditional device, and his and because of that validation, see, till today, anything which comes from a government, anything which is validated, everybody will accept that. It's a hard truth, right? So because he gotten that validation from the Commissioner of Health, this guy was able to get a project with the Tamil Nadu government for monitoring the 50 lakh pregnant women. Okay, and his technology was taken as a case study in the Harvard University. So that was a huge success story, and now there is no turning back for him. Right now, I mean, there are many such kind of success stories because I only think it needs only for the incubators to be persistent and consistent. And I mean, you have to be, I mean, when you start working with a startup, you should also be like an entrepreneur. You cannot be like, we are an incubators, we are supporting them. Our job is to just connect to the industry, then our job is done. It is not like that. You have to travel along with him till he gets that success. You have to handhold him. So with in NASCOM, I think we are able to do that, and there are many more success stories. Obviously, there is a time constant, so I will stick to only one. Thank you.
One of our startups who got incubated with us, they're actually helping make farmers in Karnataka a lot of money now. They are into actually cold storage technology. So they are one of the people like with the tomato prices booming. So they have they were startups. They start like one of the major reason what agriculture farmers face as a difficulty is because of the pricing. They don't have access to proper storage technologies, cold storage, even though there are a lot of cooperative and government-based, storage options. But most of them are all controlled by middlemen. So what this startup did was they have brought in a very economical and a mobile cold storage technology for farmers with a new technology. Their patent is also they have filed for it. It's called Dew Point technology, and with that, they have been able to help. Like they have started operations from 2022 onwards, and now they are at 45 lakhs business they have done in the past 1 year, and they are helping farmers in Maharashtra and Karnataka, especially tomato farmers and paddy farmers now. So I can say they are a new startup which are going with this technology. Apart from that, there are many small rural entrepreneurs, micro entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs who have begun like
from their daily livelihoods of 150 rupees, 100 rupees per day. But today, by establishing their own small businesses, nano businesses, maybe traditional, because most of the rural traditional occupations, people have migrated from their rural traditional occupations, like which one of them is agriculture. Today, most of them migrate either to cities or they end up becoming labor or working in SEZs. So, one of the major area there is women being retrenched from the SEZs. After a certain age, most of the women get retrenched. One is because of age, the other is because of economical conditions. So, and they end up having their livelihoods break at this point of time. So, there is a lot of change in that. So,
Sushi, you have one? Yeah. I'll share about Cocoa Birch. Lata. Lata has been already coming to Startup Saturday. Recently, she has gone back to the US. So she was our, I think, second WSP cohort member. What she did actually, she understood the demand of these cocoas. She went to the farmers in the lower portion of entire Andhra Pradesh region and all. She met all those farmers, those who are growing cocoa. And then she said that, see, what I'll do, I'm trying to create this entire supply chain. There in that entire region, Cadbury has dominated that entire agriculture because Cadbury has set up that processing center. It does all that seed supplying, farming and all for all these farmers and all. That has been happening. But she came up with that idea that some of the farmers are still not getting what they should get in terms of price and all that. So she set up a mechanism. She helps them with some support system through agricultural officers and all. She purchases the cocoa nibs or cocoa as a seed, sells it or sends it to Kochi, get it processed. So she gets two products, cocoa powder and cocoa nibs. So 200 rupees kg she purchases, brings back processing and all done. She has already got that FSSAI license. And she brings back and sells it in the market per kg around 1200 to 1700. Last 2 years, she has been very, very successful. I think she has recently registered as well. But yes, she has more time to go ahead. That is what I did.
Thank you.
How many of you know about drones? Everybody is talking about usage of drones somewhere or the other. But do you ever wonder where these drones are being made? Where do you get these drones? There are people who sell drones to you and you use those drones to do a certain activity. It can be anything. This is how it works. That's how the market is. A young engineering student, 18 years old, started wondering, why should I buy a drone from somewhere else? Why can't I manufacture a drone? How difficult it is. So he started exploring. So this is the story of one humble Geetam student. His father is a farmer and they didn't have any entrepreneur ever in any side of his family. That kind of kid he is. So he took upon himself, there was a lot of R&D involved, a lot of research involved, a lot of drone, where he's buying the drones, he went and spoke to those people. A lot of things happened. Finally he started his own startup, which manufactures the drone frames, the external frame. Even now, the chips and other things inside the drone, we can export from outside. But the reason why he wanted to do this is all these drone frames come from China. So under this Make in India initiative, he felt, let me do something. Let me find out. Lot of R&D has happened. Lot of research went into it. Lot of good people supported it. Then finally, now he's a drone frame manufacturer from whom other people who are selling drones are trying to buy the frame as per the specifications. And the lead time needed is 1 month versus the lead time needed by a China manufacturer. In India, it is there, right? So within 1 month, based on your specification, the frame will be done and given to you. So this is, I personally feel this is an amazing story by itself. Sometimes we take things for granted. We don't question the status quo. These kids wanted to question the status quo and change it. and started a manufacturing unit in Patancheru in outskirts of Hyderabad, where they themselves, they didn't even in April, but they already started the manufacturing unit, and that is on the rolls already. We got some bank loan. Obviously, the first person, the father invested a little and rest from the bank loan, and they have started the factory.
Okay. Yeah.
Punishment for taking the phone call 15 seconds back.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I'll be very quick. As we currently have about 86 standard features count. Yeah. I know. I'm coming there. 83, 84 of them revenue making. So it'll be unfair if I talk anywhere else. I talk Alphabet as a startup. We are successful. This is self-napa. No, I'm not. I'm kidding because I wanted to pick up as it's like we did student this thing. These are a batch of 4 students. I'll come down to the last who went around, came asked for mentoring, went around because they've seen that the fish market, everything is dirty, and most of it that is pond, what do you call it, pond grown fish is fed with a lot of crap, which is a lot of well, not antibiotics, and antibiotics is the chicken, but this is much worse than that, which makes it more fat and big for the weight because it's all weight managed. So they wanted to grow chemical-free fish is what they were saying, and they wanted to do vertical farming. So they actually built um, vertical concrete, what do you call it, farms, one or above, urban farming, and they had used IoT and AI to monitor and all that stuff, aerators and all that stuff. Batch of 4 students. They have the idea over there. Maybe. Okay. This is the guy called Satvik and this is 4 students from law college in the university. Had nothing to do with marine and nothing to do with computer science and nothing to do with this thing. They traveled for about 40 days from here to Nellore, studied all the time, what are the problems, where, and then they built it. They did this. They went up to the stage 4 levels. Okay, Asia Pacific, Ho Chi Minh, as part of UN, SDGs, food for change was the thing. They won there. They were sponsored 2 months fully paid accelerator program by UN in London. They built a startup, MVP, they sold it, they made money, they're doing the second one, which is they're trying to bring, maybe madam would help them, I put them, you as a mentor, madam, trying to put basically Sharbat into, they're trying to increase the lifespan into cold storage and then take it to just like holy soda, the Sharbat can take it into the market and all that stuff, because there's a lot of unorganized sector in the Sharbat market. So especially the Mumari and Maredi and all that stuff. So they're trying to do something on that. So that I think because it's young students, 3rd year law college, do not have any knowledge either of marine or computer science, IoT, artificial intelligence, image analytics, and all that stuff. I think that probably I would consider as the best story that I can tell.
Thank you. Have the questions for the audience, but since I have another 6 questions and it's going to take a long time, I'm going to limit myself to 2. And maybe what I'll do is I'll give 2 to 2 of you and another 2, or maybe the other one to somebody else. Entrepreneurship often comes with its own set of challenges. Based on your experience, what are the common challenges startups face in Vizag? How do you assist them in overcoming these obstacles? I think that's pretty simple. For you, of course, you're new to Vizag, so I don't know if it's right to ask you that.
I think asking Vizag can tier 2, tier 3 towns.
That's how you can answer it from.
Because what Vizag students or entrepreneurs are facing. I'll rephrase this question. What are the challenges faced by people in tier 2, tier 3 towns to start a startup? Instead of just relegating it only to Vizag. Agree? Well, I'll tell you, there needs to be a socio-cultural mindset change of parents first. Socio-cultural mindset change of people around us. Our parents may be chill, but our aunt will not be chill. Our neighbor uncle will not be chill about it. This mindset of interference creates a lot of stress for the person who actually wants to start a startup or already has started, he's finished. Somebody smiling his ears off because he's going through it. Right. So I think the first thing all our parents, since decades, I'll say since post independence, Indians are known as good employees. The Baburdom has left us with employees, and IT industry made us service centers. We are back-end service center for the major IT companies in the world versus taking risks and starting our own startups or thinking of entrepreneurship. But that said, last 5 years have seen a sea change. A lot of changes have happened, but still a lot of changes need to be done. And we don't have, as Sir was telling, Ravigaru was telling, market access. We don't have ecosystem. We don't have uh, certain active networks where we can connect to the ecosystem, connect to supply chains, connect to do a sampling of customers, get customer insights. Lot of other paraphernalia we need to start a startup. We need to build in all tier 2, tier 3 towns of the country. I guess that applies to Vizag as well. So, but I personally think Vizag has everything, Andy. Everything. I personally think students here are far, far, far brighter than students in Hyderabad or any other metro after traveling across the country and across the globe. I can vouch on that. What we need is a little push and little understanding and support from our family and the people around us. And I'm sure even people in the middle age who are trying to start a startup must be knowing the heat, must be facing the heat about how people react to us when we don't want to be in a cushioned job and want to jump into something where there is a lot of ambiguity.
See,
In the interest of time, 2 minutes.
yes, yes, I'll speak.
Oh, wonderful. And we'll give a different question to Pooja.
Right. See, if people say that there is a dearth of money in Vizag, I don't agree.
Nobody said that.
And I am saying in terms of starting an entrepreneurship, that see, there's a dearth of money in fundraising. No, there is. So that is not a problem the people face here in Vizag. It is the one when I keep interacting because I have interacted with a lot of women entrepreneurs in the villages. Recently, I went to DRDA, went to different corners of Vizag to them and talked to them. They do not actually, the first problem they said, Satya, whether the product which we are giving to the market, is it well accepted? So the clarity about the product development is with the formally starting entrepreneurs as well as the rural entrepreneur as well as the social entrepreneur. The second one is very, very usual, which is the marketing. Whether I should target whom, when, what, and at what time. I have actually really interacted, mentored at this point of time, and I faced that this was a bigger challenge. Though there is a market, though actually the city has a lot of population, customer and consumer, but still they do, sometimes they cannot decide what could be the right marketing and sales strategy. So these 2, 3 things I have really faced around. Thanks. Be there.
Right.
Okay.
What will answer? We'll give you another. So, building a vibrant ecosystem, it's very a strong ecosystem involves active participation of various stakeholders. In your situation, being in a rural, one of the only rural incubators that's there, how do you collaborate with academic institutions, industries, investors, other incubators to make sure that the local community are able to foster an entrepreneurial ecosystem? We have difficulties in the city in getting people to understand what she mentioned about support and so on. So, would you like to how you are handling that?
Well, like you have said, it is a challenge, and it's a challenge that we have started to address recently, and we are working towards uh, like we have recently held a workshop for this, to bridge this rural and urban divide, because like many have said, many startups they face one big issue is where is the market. But most of the startups that are there, we only hear the word startup in an urban setup. We don't hear a word called startup in the rural setup. It's just called a business still. So for them, for them the access to market, like like Sir Sushil Garu has said, there is a fear of quality, and that part is they're unaware of the quality. What is the quality check of the product? How do we ensure that this product gets marketed? Are we sure? And because they are very small businesses, the first fear for them is money. But but I don't think money should be a challenge. Money should never be the first step for a business, including me. When I started a business, money is the first step that I calculate, but money should never be the first step for our business. Our first step for every business should be our idea. Idea stage is the first step. You trust the idea, you believe in the idea, you work on the idea. Today, there are number of options for getting grants. We have investors, we have so many, so many people along with us who can guide us and, handhold us through every stage of a business. Like ma'am has said, the parents' mindset. This is I faced the same thing when I started my business. I left my job and started. I faced the same scrutiny for 8 years. I still face it today also. My parents still believe I should be doing a job, but it is very important that we have to, like today we can join hands with other incubators. We are able to work with, we are able to bring along different colleges here, and I am sitting here as a person from a rural incubation center. I am from Vizag, so that itself is like the way for us to go forward is to be together. We can share ideas. We have the kind of platforms today with Startup Saturdays, and working with colleges and other organizations, like-minded people are coming on board today to work on this kind of ideas. I don't think there's a challenge in that anymore.
So I second with Mr. Sushil. I don't think there is a dearth of money for because I don't usually work with the student startups. My startups are quite a matured one, so I don't see any resistance from their family or some of the close relatives. The only thing I see is I'll talk in the point of startups of what I have seen. See, sometimes startups become very inflexible, right? Very inflexible about their product also. Because see, that product might be a brainchild, that product might be a very pet to you, but you should also see how relevant it is to the market, right? How relevant you are going to stay for a long time. Is it for a short term? Is it for a long term, right? Because I always tell the startups there are three things which defines you, which gives you a market access. I don't say because I have been reaching out to the many industries, be it in pharma SEG, automobile SEG, in Anandpur, anywhere. Of course, there is a dearth of trust because when you say startup, they think somebody who is immature. Because they go along with these big four. These big four, if they bring the same startup, then we are willing to accept it, right? But the startups alone, they go and try to reach out to market. That is not going to happen. So I always tell the startups only three things that need to be concentrated on, focused on. That you need to articulate the problem statement. You need to very well articulate the problem statement. Second thing is what is your solution for that. The third and the critical thing is what is the ROI. Why anybody should come to you. What is the team return they are getting? It's not only in terms of the money or revenue. Is there it's saving their time? Is it improving the efficiency or productivity? That is a very crucial point. I think as an incubator, it is easy for us also to connect for you to the market. I agree there is a kind of lack of trust in the market, but I think you should make your product visible. Whatever the incubators or anybody else is there, they act as a catalyst to your product. But end of the day, you should know what you are trying to do, how relevant you are in the market, not today, not tomorrow, down the line 10 years. that I will be relevant and I'll be willing to change. My product will be flexible. I'll be flexible. Because after 2 years, whatever 2 years technology you're having, it might be obsolete. Right? You cannot fix to that and you cannot stick to that. No, my product is number one, it will always be there. There will be a number of competitors coming around you. You should be very agile and you should be very competitive. In thinking also, you should be very competitive. And most of the startups which I see who are incubated with that, they are technically very strong. They lack in their business quality. Right? When I take them to the market, when I take them to the industries, it's the first step they fail to convince the customer. They are good at technologically, they are good at building their product and all. They fail to convince the customer that how best this can fit into the customer's requirement. I think startup will focus on these three issues. That's what I would like to say. But otherwise, it's the market. I think incubators collaborated. I mean, it's not only a part of NASCOM, not only part of the every incubator should come along, and we should be able to get them an access to the market. I'm sure that is going to happen. Only the startups need to be flexible on that side.
Even though this is something that applies to every one of you, I'm going to actually Ravi and you and Dr. Sushil, because all of them are still relatively new in Vizag, comparatively very young incubation centers. But many incubation centers have a growing network of alumni who have successfully graduated from their programs. How do you engage and leverage the experiences of your alumni, further support and inspire the next generation of startups? Is it too early a question to ask you? If it is, I'll move on to something else. If you feel that you can answer, that you have sample.
Ravi is always up for everything.
Yeah. I love my voice. Okay. So, every one of the incubator centers come with a pedigree. So there is somebody, if it's a university incubator, you might call alumni. For them, it's the corporate. And a set of people who volunteer or associate with NASCOM for years, years. So everybody comes with this thing, like Etam, again alumni, then you talk IMV, there's again Mentor Institute in IIM Bangalore, and then a set of people who can help them. Grameen Incubation has been there from ages. So all have that. We again have to, because when I'm saying the 3 M's, when I'm talking about mentorship or market access and all that, the reason, I'm talking on behalf of different people, giving examples. The reason why Pooja is able to open doors to the startups for market access, that in fact the example she's talking of Ministry of Health is a previous experience of being with the government. She's leveraged that network to be able to do it for that as part of NASCOM. So every one of us have that, which your association with something else, some entity that brings in some amount of people, because my association with Alco Partners, my association with Vizag startups, and there's a lot of people out here. So that's the reason now I'm able to get people on board. Or maybe I was with Tarded 2017 trying to invest, or then we're trying to do some work together in Singapore, and that's where I know Giri, and now he's here. So that's how these networks are built. It's alumni, it's your acquaintances, your pedigrees, a lot of people that you have been associated with. That's how you build your mentor network, and that becomes very visible, especially for incubator like mine, where we are multi-sector, getting the exact, because if somebody comes up with something which is very specific, they say, now we have a, what do you call it, St. Luke's sound and movie making incubator in the campus. I know not many people know. And that's where you can go do a course, or you can even, because a lot of younger generation is into movie making, short films, whatnot. So, and if I have to get somebody who's a mentor who knows that specific thing, again, using my network, if suddenly I need somebody, I use the register, from there connect to the Department of Music, or again, different things that are there, or inside or outside, through the different network that we have, thanks to, again, LinkedIn and other things that we reach out and be able to get these mentors and then get them to get the thing. So it is critical. It is very critical, because one of the 3 M's, and of course your market access and mentoring, or sorry, the money is also through the networks. In fact, most of the IITs did that, few IIMs, but not many, but few. But they have also set up. In fact, IISc, I get my sort of all these emails saying that they're setting up this fund. Will you be interested to put in? It's a crowdsourcing from the alumni, and they're creating funds, which I think others will soon be doing it. We're planning to, which we will help them invest in, set up startups on behalf of the alumni. So that's become very critical, and you to really use that to really be successful.
But alumni, are you leveraging any of the alumni?
We actually started 5-6 years back, so we do not have alumni coming back except two who have just actually enrolled and have started, because since they earn and they have to actually explore more and more of them. But we have more actually general population with stuff. So it will take some time.
What? Thank you. So today we are going to do something that we typically don't do in Startup Saturdays, which is that we typically end at 5:30 on Startup Saturdays, as those who have been here for a while and so they're bored and checking their phones instead of listening are doing. We're going to extend it by 15 minutes so that we have 15 minutes for Q&A with the panelists for all of you. And then we'll have the startup pitch, and then we'll have the open mic session. So, any questions to the panelists? Anybody from a specific person?
Yeah, my question to the panelists is that the Vizag has this identity crisis in terms of whether it's a executive capital or not, whether it's a tier 2, tier 1 city or not. So how does this impact on the startup ecosystem? Whether one should get reverse incubated or pre-incubated or post-incubated or socially incubated or AHUB incubated? Thank you.
Okay.
I think it's all about branding, perception branding. We have to do a little bit more. When you want to fight the metros, you can't do it alone. Maybe this is a step towards that. You can fight as a group. Because when you project to the outside world, it's not AHUB, it's not IMD Field, it's not VDC or NASCOM or Garmin and all that stuff. It's together is what we need to give a concentrated, one picture to the outside world. That's what API is trying to do. Probably they'll have to do a little. How many of you know that there's a unicorn in Vizag? Anybody who knows it's the name of the company, it's a unicorn in Vizag. You know what a unicorn is, right? You talk about 100, India is about 100 unicorns, now it's come down because market valuations came down. The revaluation is now about 88 or 80, something like that. So, in these 88 unicorns, there is one from Vizag. The best kept secret, it's an MPZ. Small Bayer is the name of the company. Jitendra Sharma ji, who is the CEO MD of MPZ, maintains a very low profile. He avoids 2 Ps, press and politicians. So that's why it's not known to the outside world. So there are a lot of success stories. The people who come here have incubated, graduated from our incubators and then moved out and become big. But we've never been able to market it. But I think as Sridevi was talking it again, Sridevi, I call her Sridevi and to make her feel good and young, and then she calls me Ravi Garu to make me feel old, not good. So, okay, just, but I think we just started again. We slowed down for some time and then we started, but this time it's a lot of momentum. We always talk of IT as an industry, we compare ourselves with Hyderabad, which is not good. There are a lot of other industries that we doing extremely good. We're 10th on the GDP in India, not bad. So, nobody talks of all that stuff. They say only IT did not take off. That's because that's the only thing that you'll see as somebody after the college to be intake for an intake into the. That's That's what parents are concerned with. That's what students are concerned with. That's the only thing that we talk about. That's why we say migration outside. And I don't care. You can migrate and then later you come back. I came back. We came back. We all came back. We were all again alumni. So, okay, helping out the university. So we do. So that's okay. But if you're talking, it's a concentrated effort of marketing and branding. Maybe you do a little bit now. It's simple as this, guys. And just the reason I'm just taking interesting is after that element, which was along 3 incubation centers and 2 other centers were opened by the CM, we did not even know that. CM did not even know that this thing is happening in the university. Now we said today the reason I was late is there's a CMO's office people, AP Digitization Corporation or something. They're going around and trying to go to different things. I said they've covered the Google I/O extended event. They're supposed to, they said, take us on this thing. They wanted to, this is going to the CM's office. The IT minister doesn't know this is happening in that. No, this is true because maybe we did in the country in the what do you say, the NRF innovation ranking out of 6,000 odd incubators in the country. So, but we probably did not do a good job of even telling it even to the local people that we've done a good job. So, I think some concentrated effort. This is the platform where there could be differences at the higher up. Don't care, but for sake of, because we are here, we call ourselves
the crisis of Vizag and its impact on startup ecosystem, right? I would say today the world is a global village. How many of you will agree to that? Anything you prepare here, you can sell it to the remotest European village today. Can we do that? My answer to your question is your customer only from Vizag, or is it from across the world, or is it from some other, how you have done the market segmentation? I don't know. I personally feel all of us who want to start a business should think from that angle. That said, I would say maybe we don't have many venture capital firms. I would request Ravi Gaurav to start one. We should start. Sir, enough of incubation, sir. 3 incubators, enough. Don't start one more. Please start a BC4. So, maybe that point I'll agree. That we don't have enough VC funds here and funding for startups is not growing as much as other cities. That point I'll agree. That said, VCs from other cities are ready to fund people from anywhere provided they have a market. I went to Estonia. Okay, I went to Tallinn in Estonia. It's a capital city. The capital city will be quarter of Vizag. Area-wise, population-wise. Population-wise, maybe 1/10 or 1/20th. The whole of Finland will be as big as Vizag. I visited it. Aduka country, Bangkok capital is called Helsinki. What I'm trying to tell is Twitter started in one corner part of Tallinn, which is not even a town, it's a village. They started Twitter there. Where is Twitter now? Forget the Elon Musk episode, but where is Twitter now? That guy has, I don't know whether he has ruined it, whatever, he has defamed it or famed it. Now Twitter is a household name. Even my Sabjiwala will know what Twitter is today. Because of Elon Musk. Not because of what Twitter can actually do. Right? What I'm trying to tell here is, I'm sure all of you know Facebook story, right? That guy is nobody. Mark Zuckerberg is nobody when he started it. He was as younger than this kid sitting in the front. If you're bound to be a success, you have defined your customer properly, and you have the perseverance to hang on there when the times are not good. I don't think, let's not get into this, Vizag ये नहीं है, वो नहीं है, वो होता नहीं, ये होता नहीं, होता है, करने वाले कर दिखा रहे हैं. That's it. Let's do it. It's not a Nike ad.
So, fine line.
Basically, all of you are having one question for the audience.
No, but I do one thing. Okay, talent, because I was there. I think Latitude was for gratitude that is there.
Yes.
Yeah. So Skype is also from the same place.
And they never met.
Yeah, we don't know each other
Both of them.
very recently.
He was right.
So okay. Your VC firm, we run it already. We have an investment management
You
firm.
have one VC firm.
No, we not VC. We are angel invested. We have invested in about 7-8 startups. He is also one of it. I personally have, see, if you call Vizag, and the reason I said stupidly emotionally attached to Vizag, I made investments to a tune of about $1 million, all in Vizag based. I have only one this thing. It should be Vizag based. Anchor IoT, Rajneesh was in Hyderabad. I said, you move to Vizag, I'll give you 1 CR. I wrote a check and gave it to him. So I'm investing already. I'm already there, madam, and I'm just not only speaking. I'm putting my words in action.
Still, VC firm could start changing.
I have now finished my money. Now I have to sell one or two to make that.
Catch hold of some other 2 people.
Any other question? Please keep your questions brief.
So, in addition to the last question, that we as a college students, passed out from the intermediate colleges, and we will, like in a rat race where we would all like come up with a competition of IIT, NIT, Triple IT. But at the end of the game, we all would go to the one jobs. Like like IITs and these premier institutions of India would also like push forward to the jobs, and then two type 2 and type 3 colleges of the India also push to the jobs. But there is a difference between the like IITs also push forward to the jobs, and the type 2 and type 3 colleges also push forward to the jobs. What's the difference it makes? But like I'm not saying like mostly. Okay. So the question is about why mostly like students from the premier institutions would also prefer to the job rather than starting a startups.
That's the tragedy of our country.
You really want to.
I gave
Yeah, exactly.
socio-cultural mindset of parents is the reason for that. And other people in the ecosystem.
Even the students also, they don't want to,
They don't want
No, I'll
to
give a better answer.
just
No answers. The question has already been answered. Therefore, I'm going.
It's the first role of Baba.
okay, next question.
Yeah, you can have a discussion and a debate afterwards. Afterwards, there's a reason why we have panelists and there's a reason why we have guests. If guests also start talking, then we'll be heard. There's an event that's happening at 6 o'clock, and we need to vacate this. And there's a startup. Wishcraft. There. I think. Yeah. So we are waiting to. Please be ready.
Yeah, my question is, I'm coming from engineering background, so we are undergraduates. So as we first time heard of startup in after coming to this campus and took seriously when we started joining Startup Saturday. So my question is 2 questions. First one, we actually come to the campus for our academics, and how you expect a undergraduate to look towards startup at the same time, how he should manage both his academic learnings and also implementing his ideas with the knowledge he's getting every day through the process. And second, with your all experience, because of your experience, what you how you provide clarity and suggestion for young undergraduates or young students who have no idea about startups. They just know outside because we are not going through the process. But you have also gone through what you actually give back and suggestion.
If I didn't give Ravi the mic, I'm going to give it to him.
Okay, we'll talk offline for that previous question, but 2-3 things that happen. Because from the same campus, I can tell you, there's basically one-day batting, and the rest of the time you're just listening to classes, made to listen, and most of the time you don't like it. And most of the time you waste your time and valuable time. One thing you can get closer to startups is get practical. If you start working on products, It will get you to lab, take your lab serious, or come and do. We have a lab. We have a lab. There are a lot of another 4 courses being invested in the Siemens lab that we have. There are places where you can come and experiment. Until unless you get your hands dirty, you will not be able to. Because just sticking to your classroom and the content that's being pushed there into you and think that you can maybe get into the startup world, extremely difficult. Maybe someone can crack that, but it's extremely difficult. You have to get your hands dirty. Like when I teach the MBAs, but the BBAs first year, you're telling +2 afterwards, right? He gave me one subject. He asked me to teach. I said, I'll teach provided I'll teach the way I want. They said, okay, go ahead. And they said 2 credit, 3 credits. And they said they gave it to me and I have to assess people and give some grade. I said, fine, I'll do that. You know what I did? 12th graders, just like you, just came into the campus. First thing I said is get out of the class. I mean, not stand out of the class. I broke it into 3 parts. First part, they have to go study any business, Pani Puri, Idli Wala, whatever, franchisee. Come and keep presenting, give them templates. First 4 weeks is that. Next 4 weeks is if you're starting the same business in some place, where will you start at a similar business and how will you do it? They learn everything about business plan, strategy, everything because on their own because they're talking to all these guys every day. And the third 4 weeks or 6 weeks is I put them to startups who will beg them to slog their butt off. So that is the 3 ways in which out of that batch of 60 people, 3 into 4, maybe about 11 guys, about 3 startups have come. Panika Pataka, there's Alien Pirates, which is clothing, and there's one more. 3, there's an African, what do you call it? Kitchen that because they did a survey and they said so many Africans in the city and they don't have their palate being taken care of and they're starting in Ethiopian something restaurant. So 3 startups came out of that. These are all BBA first year students. If you get out of the mindset of just sitting in the class, listening, writing assignments, and then getting 8 or 9 CGPA, you will never be getting into the startup world. Get practical, get into your lab, get outside. The guy Ujjwal whom we funded was the reason he was successful. He was sitting beyond his class hours. He was sitting in the local mechanic shop, mechanical engineer, but he was getting practical, and the idea that he got was different. But he was outside. What he learned was outside the classroom. If you go do that, I think you can get into that.
Actually,
I'm sorry, but we'll have to do these certain things. So, minute each. If you can summarize your future plans for how you are planning to grow your incubator, how are you going to help the community? 1 minute each, please.
Yeah. So at Visakhapatnam, we are going to launch 2 more programs. One is for MSME. So we are going to launch this in the coming 2 months. We will be actually making it locally entrepreneurs. This will be like ideating as well as those who are existing ones. And second, we are bringing a center for food tech, like food processing one. Because we have got a project by the government of India and we are going in that line. So we'll be also opening the application and bringing more entrepreneurs who will be needing support and all.
The Prime Minister has recently announced that by 2030, most of India's population, which is 40%, will be urban. 40% of India will be urban. Where will the 60% be? Still be rural, right? It will still be rural. So the focus of Gramina is on that we have to bring more startups into the rural segment. There is a huge market depth over there. There is a shortage of most of the startups. They serve this densely crowded, I should say, fiercely competitive urban markets, which most of the startups are targeting. Whereas the rural segment is completely sparse and very few are working, and this is where the major crowd is. Most of it is different. There is a lot of difficulty towards accepting change, accepting technology. But I think all startups, that's what startup is about, right? About innovation. So I think
like this can be a call out to all the startups to think about the rural as well. And Gramina is working on this, and we are through AHub, we have started Startup Saturdays to bring this dialogue. And through other workshops, we have recently conducted one workshop. We are planning to conduct similar workshops, which are more focused on bridging this rural and urban divide, and bring startups to serve this to serve the rural setup.
Well, enable my students to better products and become better entrepreneurs, and motivate Ravi Garu into starting a VC firm.
That's how you motivate me. Give me a minute, I'll start now.
Future plans for your
That's my future
yeah,
plan, by
but
the way. Well, I already mentioned that Vizag we are focusing on port and allied industries, and we are also trying to focus on defense sectors. Recently, we had a very good conversation and meeting with Ravi Garu, with the Navy personnel. Soon we are going to have an MOU with them. So any startup who is willing to work on the defense sector, I think because they can come along with us, because we are trying to expand our wing to the defense also. Yeah, that is it.
The first step is Mission 2025, but I don't want to confine it to under NC. That's my goal. People who come here have asked for mentorship from us. We as far now, like Forest Research Institute, Dehradun, KIT, Coimbatore, we are mentoring Vignan, Guntur. So beyond Vizag, Central Tribal University, Vijayanagaram. So there are multiple things. So the idea is to go beyond, and then whatever the learnings that we have, right from say setting up a Section 8 company to how to put out your incubator to run it, and then get your local startups, and then how do you mentor that, funding, all that stuff, different things. Our learnings take it to the outside world and then make it a vibrant ecosystem in the North Coastal Andhra, but much beyond too. But actually, North Coastal Andhra is the concentration, become the hub and spoke, sort of the hub for the North Coastal Andhra, and help the entrepreneurship ecosystem for the North Coast. That's
that we'll finish the first and major part of our session today. Thank you, esteemed panelists, for your insightful responses, your experiences and expertise. Will undoubtedly serve as a valuable guide for our aspiring entrepreneurs and students in the audience, encouraging them to pursue innovative ideas and contribute to the growth of Andhra Pradesh and India. Once again, thank you so much for being here. I am sorry I'm not.